Hi, and welcome to Common Fitting Adjustments for the Carpe Diem Dress and Tunic. I'm Ray Cumby, your guide, and I'm going to be showing you right now how to take out a little excess in the neckline and or in the sleeveless armhole, rotate it into the dart so you get a cleaner fit at the top of the dress. Sometimes if we have accommodated the bust, and this dress is just a little too loose on this gal, but we're going to suspend our belief and try to make it be the right size. But sometimes when we have gotten enough here, we end up with a little too much up in the neckline. And the way to pin this out, to solve this problem, is to actually take a couple of pins and pin out a couple of little darts that originate in the neck edge where you have a little too much fabric, and stop where you don't need the adjustment anymore. And I'm doing that right now so that we get a little bit closer fit here in this neckline area on this person. And I think that looks significantly better, and yet we don't want darts in the neckline of our dress, and so we're going to move those darts into the bust line itself. I'm going to show you how to do that dart rotation on the pattern work in just a moment. The other thing we're going to look at is a very similar alteration, so we're going to do it in the same video, is how to take a little extra out of the armhole above the side panel if you need that to happen. If you also have a little gapiness here in the front armhole, you would do a similar thing. You would, and I'm going to actually release her neckline so you can see a little gapey over here. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a little dart right here, coming down to take that excess out. And then we will throw that into one of these darts here. So let's look at that pattern work, that rotation of the excess fabric into a dart, so you can do it yourself if you need to. We are going to do the pattern work now to take a little bit of extra out of the neck edge. We had a little sort of droopy, loosey-goosey neck edge on the mock-up, and we pinned a little dart out, and we're going to first put the dart on that we created, and I have measured it so I know where to put it. And then we're going to slash and spread a little bit to close that dart up and send it into the dart in the pattern. And I have my medium pattern traced off here with the single dart, and that's where we are going to move this adjustment. So I measured, and the pattern dart, the dart on the dress itself was 3/4 of an inch sort of around the curve from the balance line that is drawn right up here, and it is about 3/16 of an inch on either side of the of that center dot. So I am going to measure that, and the 16th of course is hard because it is sort of in between the 1/8 and the 1/4, but it is a very small dart, and in fact I feel like this is I didn't get that one in the right place. We're going to move it down here a little bit. And the dart itself that we pinned out was about 4 inches long, and it angles out towards the bust itself. When we have an adjustment like this, it ends up sort of becoming a bust adjustment because it is part of the. So there's our center line on which we're going to build the dart, and we're going to create the 2 dart legs here. Now we're not going to use this as a dart. We're going to just remove it, and then we're going to put it into the other dart itself. I always think this is one of the most magical parts about pattern work, is moving these darts around. Now, in order to do that, we have to connect these 2 lines, and the way we're going to do it is with some new lines we're going to draw. So I've drawn a little yellowy green line there, and I don't see that, so let's make it blue so that we can see it better. Okay, and then we're going to actually draw a line right down through here, down through this start, okay? And where those two lines intersect, which you see is right here, that is where we're going to slash the pattern in order to make the adjustment. So I'm going to cut here through the neck along that line that we just drew for ourselves. And I'm actually going to turn this around now so I can work from this angle, which is a little easier for me when I do this part of the adjustment. Okay. And now I'm going to cut across, and I'm going to leave a little hinge. Yep, I didn't do that, but we will be able to manage it without it. Now, first thing we're going to do is close this dart up here in the neck edge, and I'm going to shift the pattern so that we get those two dart legs connecting to themselves, and you can see there that they are connected to themselves, and we have matched them together, and now we're going to eliminate that dart, that bulk, completely. All right, and in the process we have allowed this part of the pattern to spread. And so we're going to fill that in with a little bit of pattern paper. And I always try to use this classic brown tissue here to do my fill-in so that I have a little contrast. I love my pattern to show all the beautiful work I have done on it. And when you're doing these kinds of adjustments, of course, you do have to make sure that you are keeping everything nice and flat. So the first thing we're going to do is peel away the top and just tape this paper down, keeping it nice and flat. We're so tempted. Let's just take a great big piece of tape and connect all the areas together all at once. I find when I do that, I get a lumpy pattern, and we don't want a lumpy pattern. We want a nice clean pattern. So we've taped that side down, and now we're going to bring this side down, and we're going to tape it down also. Okay. And again, we're going to keep everything just as flat and clean as we possibly can. All right. Now, whether you need this extra right here or not is a question that you can answer when you test this in your mock-up. We're going to leave it for right now. It could be that once the mock-up is finished, you can trim a little bit of this away, because where we needed the adjustment was really here, not necessarily down here. But in the meantime, we're going to leave it, and we're going to true this so that we have enough paper. And we might have to add ourselves just a little bit right down here. So we're going to come here, and this is so difficult to do. The dart is bigger now. We're going to just come here and trim that, and then we're going to get our true, and I decided we needed to add just a little smidge right down here to keep this straight. And so let's get our ruler, or let's actually just true that dart one more time and trim it so that it all matches perfectly. And now we have our complete trued area. It wasn't very much that we needed to add, but we added just a little bit. Thank you for watching this video demonstration of the pattern work to get rid of excess in the armhole, the sleeveless armhole, or in the front neckline of the dress. That little dart rotation is a kind of adjustment you can do in other places as well if you need to. So if you need this adjustment, try it out. Pin it out first on your mock-up and make sure it's solving the problem for you before you actually do the pattern work. Be careful with your pattern work. Always keep it neat and flat, and good luck.